Erst die Arbeit, dann das Vergnügen. First work, then pleasure. That's a German saying and it describes the German working mentality. Is that saying really true? Are Germans really so hardworking, and would you have to do so if you move here to Germany and start to work here? That's what we will discuss in this video. Enjoy! Hallo und herzlich willkommen to My Road to Germany, the channel you should subscribe if you want to move, study, work and live here in Germany. My name is Sebastian and in this video we will speak about the German working mentality and compare it to other countries. Because in general, maybe you heard about it, the Germans are known for their hard working mentality when it comes to working, that they are super correct, they do their job, they work hard, and that is also why the German economy is that strong. But the question is that really true, or is that just something that we think it's true, or that you've maybe heard to explain why Germany is doing economically so well? To explain this and to understand the background, it's important to know a little bit more about the German labor market, what we will do in this first chapter of this video. In general, to define if we are really so hardworking, as already said, we want to have a look on the labor market. And there we see that the German labor market is really employee friendly if we compare it to other countries. Means that if you have a job, especially in a bigger company, you cannot be fired that easy. They have to make a social selection. You have at least 3 months. Like if I fire you today, you can continue 3 months more in the company. Depending on your age and how many years you worked in the company, it can be more months. And also if you get fired, you still get paid by the state for a specific time, like 70% of your net income. It also depends on your personal situation, and even after you get like a basic payment what will help you to finance your flat and all those other things. Also, at least if you're well qualified and working in specific sectors, it's really easy, well, maybe I would not say easy, but you definitely have good chances to find a new job. So that gives in general the employees a really strong position in the German labor market. Also, we have those strong unions, or in Germany called Gewerkschaften, that are standing there together for their employees' rights and that are like negotiating with the company in the name of many employees to get a good working contract, a good payment, fair working hours, and. And all those things lead to a clear fact, at least from my point of view, and this is Germans are not working so hard in that way as they maybe do in other countries because they have a comfortable situation or a comfortable seat. That means, for example, compare it to America. You can get fired there so quick, so easy. You get a payment for a while, but after that, if you don't have a job, then you will probably don't have something to eat. And that's the case in many other countries in the world, but not in Germany. Not saying that this is better, this concept, for example, of America, but saying that this definitely leads to the fact that maybe if you lose your job, or if you are in your job, you do so much that you don't get fired, but you don't do more because you have a comfortable seat, you get your money, and all is fine. And that is somehow the working attitude of many people, and I would say of more people than in other countries, just because of all these social things that you have around you and that you will get and that will help you if you lose your job, and so on and so forth. And we can also underline this with hard numbers, like with facts. So for example, in 2019, the average German worked around 41 hours per week, the average full-time German worker. And that's around the European average, while, for example, people in Greece, the average person in Greece, worked around 44 hours in average per week. And that's a huge difference. Also in Germany, and that's important to mention on that point, you usually have paid over hours. That means if you work overtime, you can have more holidays or you get paid better, and you have like 25 to 30 days of holidays per year, what is also way more than in most of the other countries in the world. So to summarize that quickly, by the time or the hours of time that we spend at work or that we spend working, we are definitely not so hard working as it maybe looks from outside. Of course, this also depends where you work, in which area, in which position, in which environment, but that's everywhere in all countries the case, so I'm not taking this into account on this point here. But why are people then thinking that we are so hardworking? And in my opinion, there are three explanations for this. And the first one is that we were able to rebuild or to build up again our country so fast after the Second World War and develop a really strong economy, where you think, therefore it's really, really important and necessary that the Germans are really hard working. But they've also have been at that time, probably more than now. But still, I think that's a point that also people have in mind today, and they see the strong economy, and that's why they think, people there are so hard and strong working. The second point, and that is somehow true, we have this mentality of first work, then pleasure. So if you have a task, you used to first finish the task and then relax and chill. Or you first speak about the work things if you have a business lunch or something like this, and then you come to the private things. And in many other countries, it's different because you first speak about private things, you build up a personal connection and so on, and then you speak about the work thing. So that's a really difference, and I think it also comes from there because many people say, they're just talking about work, they're like machines. I first want to get to know this other person because we are doing business, so it's super important that we trust us, what a German also thinks, but in German that's more first the work and then the business. And that's why many people, also if you're coming here, you maybe think, the Germans are just about work. The third point is the more strict division of work and private life. So this means the job is the job and it has to be done, and you do it fast, you do it good. If you're working, if it's your working hours, then you really should work. And on the other side, if you are private, then you are in your private time, you don't accept calls from your boss or whoever else is calling you regarding work in those hours, because that is private. Of course, this is also different again from company to company, from individual to individual and so on, but the tendency is clear. That means also that many people on the other side are really accurate, they are serious, they have ownership for their work, so they really want to get the things done, they want to get them done well, on time, accurate, and how it's supposed to be. Also, if you take a little bit longer break, then you work longer, you respect somehow the working hours. Not everyone, of course, but most of the people. And all what I just mentioned can be underlined, because what we know, looking into studies and doing some research, is that the GDP that is like earned per hour in a company is in Germany one of the highest in the world. That means we are one of the most productive countries per hour in the whole world. So that means the workers here really work efficient. Of course, they also have efficient machines, materials, and so on. But that's just what I said, that if you work, then you do the work, and later you do the private stuff. And taking all of this together and coming along with this quality made in German thing that you maybe also have in your mind, this sharpens somehow this image of the hardworking German mentality. So at the end, that means for you, you don't need to worry. In Germany, you don't need to work so hard or way harder than in your country. Probably you will feel that people are even less hardworking than in the place where you're coming from. It depends a little bit. The working culture is different and so on. Of course, if you just found your own business or you're working in a small startup company and you want to make a career and so on, then you maybe work longer, you make over hours. And if you're working in a state-owned company, for example, or in the industry, in one of the big automotive companies, if you're working there in the industrial hall or something like this, normally you have contracts that are just 35 hours. So what I want to say with this, it depends more on your individual way and the company, and less on the fact that Germany is like a hard-working country where you have to work so much. That's the video. I hope I was able to clear a little bit this picture of Germany and what you can expect if you want to start to work here. And if you like this video, I would be also happy if you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to not miss any video again. Thanks for watching, your Sebastian.